Hey everybody, mel0n here, welcome back to another video. Today we're going to be doing an unboxing and first impressions of the brand new X-RayPad Jade and Obsidian Donut Universal Skates. Now these are an update to the previous X-RayPad Jade and Obsidian Dot Skates that released a little while ago. Now since these skates have a different physical design as to the original Obsidian and Jade Dots, there's going to be some small differences in how these skates actually perform and their respective speed and control attributes. Now before we get started, huge thank you to X-RayPad for sending these out for review. I greatly appreciate it, and let's go ahead and get started with the unboxing and first impressions. X-RayPad's new donut skates retail for around $9.90 USD per set, but they are often on sale, as we typically see with a lot of X-Ray products, for a much cheaper price. Currently, as of recording this video on December 22nd, 2023, are currently on sale for $6.99 USD. Now, just like the original Jade Dots, the Jade Donut Skates are a 100% PTFE speed skate that are optimized for use on fabric and plastic mouse pads. And similarly, the Obsidian Donuts are the exact same type of skate as the Obsidian Dots. They are the control-focused, hardened PTFE skates that are best used on glass and fabric mouse pads. Now, of course, since these are donut skates, they are going to be physically bigger than the previous Dot skates. So the donut skates are measuring in at a width of 9.55 millimeters, and they average around 0.7 to 0.8 millimeters tall. Now, one really cool feature about these donut skates is you can actually remove the central part of the skate, and you can use these as a 0.45 millimeter width extra skate. Now, they aren't rounded on the sides, they are flat cut, so I wouldn't necessarily recommend using them as like main skates, but they work really well as stabilizers. Alrighty, now aside from the physical differences from the Obsidian and Jade Donuts to the Dot skates, what else has changed with these new skates? There are a couple notable changes, but the biggest things you're going to notice is that since there is more surface area on the donut versions of the Jade and Obsidian skates, their respective control and speed attributes are going to be a little more pronounced than they were on the Dot skates. Another benefit of the higher surface area on the donut skates is going to be an increase in the consistency and more control on the skates overall. And on top of that, the donut skates also have a lower amount of audible feedback as compared to the Dot skates. Now, one other really cool thing you can do with the donut skates is that you can actually take the timbit out and put the hollow part of the donut skate over the screw holes in the base of a mouse, like I've done here on my Death Adder V3. This allows you to take apart the unit and put it back together as many times as you want without having to waste PTFE skates. This is really nice, especially for me, because again, I don't like wasting skates, and having to waste skates for taking mice apart all the time is very frustrating because I just hate wasting all that plastic. So that's another really cool, unique thing you can do with the X-RayPad donut skates. Alright, now in terms of performance, I tested both the brand new donut versions of the Obsidian and Jade skates against their Dot version counterparts, and they actually performed fairly similarly. There was, of course, a lot more friction on the donut skates as opposed to the Dot skates, and I don't really use that many Dot skates, so I definitely tried to keep them one for one, and they did perform quite similarly. Now, I will say there is probably going to be some variance in terms of how these are going to perform long term, because the wear patterns on a donut skate are going to differ pretty heavily from the wear patterns on a standard Dot skate. So it'll be interesting to see how these actually fare during long-term testing, but so far so good. They both do feel quite solid. Of course, the Obsidian ones do feel more controlled. The Obsidians are my personal favorite, and I love the Obsidian Dots, so having a slightly more controlled version of the Obsidian Dots with a different surface wear pattern is really nice to see. The Jade Donuts also performed really well. Now, I didn't really use the Jades as much as I did with the Obsidians because I generally prefer to use the Obsidians on lighter mice for a more controlled experience. I'm not really using that many heavy mice, so I haven't really been using the Jades that much, but I will say the speed attributes of the Jade skates have definitely carried over and are much more emphasized on the donut versions of these skates. They are very fast, and they are still really useful for cutting down the weight on a unit. I'll explain more about how that works in the full review, but if you want to put these on heavy mice to make them feel lighter, the donuts feel really good for that. Alright, well that's pretty much all I have to say about the X-RayPad donut skates for now. I do want to do a lot more testing on these to see how they actually perform across multiple different pads, different softnesses, and that kind of stuff, because these skates are quite unique, so I really want to put them through the ringer and test them on a bunch of different pads. Specifically glass, I think it's going to be the most interesting part of these, because since they have less audible feedback than the Dots do, I wonder how they're going to feel on harder glass pads or like higher friction glass pads like the XrayPad Kin or maybe the SkyPad 3.0. So it'll be really interesting to see how these donut skates actually perform over testing, but I'll have a lot more in-depth look at these skates in the full review when I have time to do some more testing. So thank you very much to X-RayPad again for sending these out for review. I greatly appreciate it. And if y'all aren't already following me on socials like X, Instagram, and TikTok, be sure to go drop a follow over there because I will be doing live little update videos of my favorite combinations with these skates like I did with the X-RayPad Obsidian and Jade Dots. And of course, get subscribed to the channel so you don't miss the full review of the X-RayPad Donut Skates. So anyways, that is all for today. Thank you again for watching, and I will catch you guys in the full review in a little bit. Peace.